In January 2006, two Indian fishermen, Sundaraj and Pandit Tiwari, who set off for what they thought would be just another day at sea. Little did they know, their day was about to take a turn for the bizarre. They set their sails and sailed into forbidden waters, and illegally fishing for turtles, lobsters, and sea cucumbers in restricted waters. Yeah, they were breaking the law, but they probably didn't expect it to cost them their lives. So, these guys anchor their boat near North Sentinel Island for a quick rest. But their anchor slips and their boat drifts onto the beach. The next part? It's like something out of a horror movie. The fishermen were attacked by the island's inhabitants and sadly were never seen again. 3 days later, the Indian Coast Guard flies in to investigate. They get a not-so-friendly welcome from the locals, who, by the way, are armed with spears and arrows. The helicopter gets attacked so fiercely they have to retreat, leaving behind the bodies of the fishermen. The locals reportedly buried them, but honestly, we'll never know what really happened to those poor guys. Now, let me introduce you to the infamous North Sentinel Island. It's a tiny, square-shaped island in the Andaman Islands, India, about 50 kilometers from the bustling city of Port Blair. Despite its close proximity to modern civilization, it's one of the most mysterious places on Earth. Why? Because nearly everyone who sets foot there never comes back. Trust me, you don't want to go there, but you do want to hear about it. So, let's dive in. Given this track record, the Indian government has strictly prohibited any visits to the island. But of course, rules are made to be broken, right? Enter John Allen Chow, an American missionary with a heart full of hope and maybe a touch of recklessness. In 2018, John decides he's going to spread the gospel to the Sentinelese. He knows it's illegal, but that doesn't stop him. He bribes two fishermen in Port Blair with $30,000 to take him to the island. He makes several attempts to contact the islanders, but each time he's met with a barrage of arrows. Determined, or maybe just a bit delusional, he keeps trying. Finally, the inevitable happens. He's killed. And, as expected, his body was never recovered. The Sentinelese either buried him or, well, who knows?
Paula, it is illegal to go within 5 nautical miles of this island because the inhabitants are known for aggressive behavior against outsiders. But John Chow, an American missionary, told friends he was drawn there to spread the word of God.
Went to meet one of the world's most remote tribes in the Indian Ocean, seeking adventure and apparently also to preach Christianity. But it's a journey that ended in tragedy for the 27-year-old American John Allen Chow.
Days of that American missionary who was murdered on a remote Indian island, the 26-year-old dying at the hands of natives who were armed with bows and arrows.
John Allen Chow became the last outsider to ever set foot on North Sentinel Island. And his death sends a clear message. The Sentinelese are not interested in visitors. Later, the fishermen who helped John were arrested. All right, let's get one thing straight. North Sentinel Island is the most closed-off place on the planet, home to one of the most mysterious tribes out there. If you've ever thought about visiting, let past events be a lesson. It's a really bad idea, and your curiosity could cost you big time. That's why we're exploring it virtually today. First off, this island is no joke. Even scientists aren't allowed to set foot there. Now, if you're asking why so secretive, well, let me tell you. The island is home to some of the most unique people on Earth. It's like they're living in a prehistoric time bubble. These people don't know Elon Musk, Justin Bieber, or even Joe Biden. They probably don't even know what a cat is. The population of North Sentinel Island is estimated to be between 15 and 400 people. Why estimated? Because nobody's done a census there. Seriously, no one's visiting to count heads or take notes. We're just making educated guesses from afar. These folks are called the Sentinelese. They're part of the indigenous Andaman tribes, living in isolation for around 60,000 years. Yep, you heard that right. 60,000 years. That's like Ice Age stuff. Back then, humans were just starting to leave Africa and invent basic tools like spears and bows. Imagine, the Sentinelese might be the descendants of those first wanderers. Wild, right? Picture this. 60,000 years ago, these people possibly walked to what is now an island during a time when sea levels were way lower because of all that ice. Fast forward to today, and they've stayed completely isolated. It's mind-blowing. They have dark skin, like Africans, hinting at their ancient roots. So, what's life like for the Sentinelese? Well, they're hunters and gatherers, living off the land and sea. Think of them like ancient humans, who never got the memo about farming. They pick crabs and shells from the beach and hunt in the forest. Farming? Nope, no evidence of that. It's like stepping into a time machine and landing smack in the middle of the Stone Age. So why is this island so off-limits? Simply put, the Sentinelese want nothing to do with the outside world. They fiercely defend their territory and have made it clear they don't welcome visitors. It's a rare peek into a world untouched by modern civilization. And frankly, that's what makes it so fascinating. So through some long-distance spying, observation, we know the Sentinelese live in small, non-permanent huts, dance around, and speak a totally unknown language. And that's about all we know about these mysterious islanders. Of course, scientists would do anything to study the Sentinelese, but it's forbidden. North Sentinel Island is officially managed by India, and they make sure the Sentinelese are left alone. Why? Because these guys have been isolated for thousands of years. They haven't built up immunity to common diseases, not even the sniffles. One sneeze from us, and it's game over for them. Now, let's rewind to the 19th century when British officer Maurice Vidal Portman thought it'd be a great idea to study the islanders up close. And it was a terrible idea. He kidnapped 6 Sentinelese and took them to the nearest big city, Port Blair. And what happened is, they got sick, 2 adults died, and he had to dump the 4 sick kids back on the island. No one knows how many Sentinelese got sick from that encounter, but it probably scarred the whole tribe. This likely explains why they're so hostile to outsiders today. They've got good reasons. Fast forward to today, and North Sentinel Island is a no-go zone. Indian patrols keep everyone at least 9 kilometers. That's 5 nautical miles away. Only a handful of uncontacted tribes like the Sentinelese are left in the world, and they're fiercely protective of their isolation. The Sentinelese are not messing around. They reject all contact with the outside world and react aggressively to strangers. And by aggressive, I mean they'll straight up kill you even if they don't feel threatened. Can't blame them, honestly. But not all encounters have been hostile. In 1991, officials tried the let's be friends approach by bringing gifts like bananas and coconuts. For a while, it worked. The Sentinelese approached unarmed, accepting the gifts. But peaceful times didn't last. Sometimes they'd greet visitors with arrows instead of hugs. Maybe someone got sick from these visits. Who knows? And remember the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami? It killed over 200,000 people, but the Sentinelese survived. When a helicopter checked on them, they were like, "We're fine, thanks," and threw rocks and arrows at it. Message received, they're doing just fine without us. So North Sentinel Island remains one of the least studied places on Earth. It's like a real-life time capsule. What do you think they're hiding? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Hit that bell so that you never miss an update. Until next time, peace.